Now we're back in here. We see that it's set up, and we have it. This is 1946 to 2036. Okay, there you go. Everything calculated, no ephemeris. I don't need all of this. Let's go to here, and we can see the Saturn. You see the first 5 or 6 things goes to Saturn. I mean, when you're using the program, even if you click on it, it gives you little interpretations of what they could mean. I don't think that much of them, but they could be, you'll be able to write them better yourself. But then you see it jumps from 2006 to 2012 from the conjunction to the square. This is the squares, and it'll listen. So when you print this out, you're going to get a big sheet that has all of these factors on it. Okay, so I'm going to come out of Matrix right now because I have these graphics already set up, but I wanted to show you how to go into the search, how to go into the saved search, how to go down to the bottom and find the Saturn years 90. Okay, then it comes up, and then when I come up to re-enter the search, you do the re-enter search, it comes up, and then you edit it. You click on the edit. When you come into the edit, that's where you can click on the enter, leave, turn off the house ingress. That's when the planet enters the house or sign. You turn those off. You turn off all the other planets. So Saturn is only aspecting Saturn. And you make sure the aspects is on squares. Okay, so we got it. And then you just say okay, and it would come up and run. Okay, so there it is again. Okay, now I'm kind of come out of this now. So we're leaving. This is WinStar. Yeah, if you're going to get it, I appreciate if you get it through me because I get a little kickback or commission for selling it. It's still the same price it would cost you, but a little comes back. It helps with RASA. It helps cover some expenses. But also, I can send you the 300-page or the 300-page PDF that shows you how to adjust and set all the defaults so it's working according to RASA standards. Okay. So now. Time. Okay. So here's our printout. We got a page, we print it out, and it prints out Saturn, the Saturn conjunct Saturn, the Saturn squares, the Saturn oppositions, the Saturn squares, the Saturn, only Saturn to Saturn. You see all down the left-hand side, you see what we just calculated. Then it has the date, the month, the day. This is American, so it has the month, day, year. It's the only eccentric thing about this program. I tend to use it year, month, date. In China, they tend to use day, month, year. So it changes around. But I like them to see here because when it gets to be the 1 of 05, it's a problem because in American, you know, it's January. In Canada, it would probably be May. In China, it would be May 1st. So because of this, eventually I generally write the year, month, day is how I tend to write it. Write dates down now. But this is the calendar. Okay, so once we got this, the big part for us, you got this vast amount of information on the sheet. We got to cut it through. Like we look at this, we'll see all these conjunctions. Just even look at the first 5 or 10 things. It has all the conjunctions. It marks as a conjunction. But when we go to the right, you'll see on the right-hand side, exact, leave, enter, exact, leave, enter, exact, leave, enter. So it has when it gets exact, when it leaves the exactness, when it comes back within a degree, it tells you when it's going within a degree. But even that, when you look at it on a sheet, that's too much to handle. That's too much. It's too hard to read. You make too many mistakes. So we're going to mark it up. We're going to fix the sheet so it's working to our favor. Okay, and what I do first is I go in, I highlight in one color the exact aspect. See, I highlighted the exact aspect. Leave, enter, hit the exact aspect, hit the exact aspect. And I draw them right across. These ones were a little fainter, so I don't know why. There's an exact aspect. So you see the exact aspect, you see the degree, you see the aspect, you see the year, the date, 54. Then you see Saturn to Saturn. And every exact one, I go in, I draw a line on. Just highlight it. You see, I keep going without the other marks around it. You'll see exact, 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 exact. I just go down the page like that. So I have all the exact hits of Saturn conjuncting square opposed Saturn or squaring it down the page. That sips it up, makes it a lot easier to read. Okay, now Let's just make this a bit bigger. This. Okay. Now up at the beginning, I've drawn the lines, the red lines across for whenever it changes aspect. See, it comes from the Saturn conjunct Saturn to Saturn square. I drew a red line across, so it divides that section to work with. Then when it goes from the square to the opposition, I divide that line, so I know which aspect I'm working with. So you draw the aspects in for the exact, highlight the exact aspects, draw a straight line across for the when it changes aspects, so you know which one you're working with, and then you're going to see the 2 or 3 hits for each aspect. You see the 2 or 3 exact ones, but we want to know when it's a degree with before, a degree after. This gives us the exact degree. When we're looking in the ephemeris, we would see if it's a degree and a half, we would just put it in. We would just put the month before, month after, just to have the 2 months and have that phase, that general phase of the aspect of that critical time there. So with Saturn, the critical aspect is never a day. The exact aspect is a day, but the degree before and degree after is when the critical things happen, when the pressure is really going to be on. That's when you're going to feel it. So you're going to have experiences in that period of the 1 degree orb that will stand out, that you'll notice, you'll go back and they'll stand out, you'll see them. And if you don't see some of them, you'll eventually come back to them because once you get in the right sync where you're going, you'll go back and pick up what it was. Oh, that was this. I didn't think that was important. Oh, there it was. Why didn't I put it in? Okay. So you'll see on the as you're going down the exact, then I'm just from the top. Saturn starts conjuncting itself. Then it leaves, and by November 11th, it left it. It entered again in November 29th. Looking across. So really, that's only a week or so off. So for me, on my chart, you see I have November to January 47, where it's November, it's October to November. November enters exact in December, leaves in January 8th. So I have November to January written down as if this is one phase. From when I was born, right through that, it was that aspect. The conjunction was within a degree of my Saturn for the whole first 4 months of my life. Now, I was born premature. I was 6 months born. So those were the 6 months of catching up to normal times. Okay. With the last one, I just started to show you the Saturn conjunct Saturn, June 20th, 47. You see the enter, 740, and it enters, when it says 749, enter. Really, if you look at the position 1, you'll see 649. It enters 649, 1 degree before. It hits the exact at 749. You see the both numbers, position 1, position 2, 749, 71. At leave, it says 849, 749. So position 1 is Saturn's position moving down. Position 2 is your natal position. So it's showing you the position. So we have the exact marks. We know the one before and after it represents that phase, the time that we want. So from June to July. You look at the first and the last month, June and July, June, July 47. I put it on my chart, on my graph. So computers make it easy, but still you're going to want to print this out and take a highlighter and work the printed sheet to get these dates. And you're going to want to work with the transit sheets. When I did mine, I took the transit sheets and I used Photoshop and I put the dates in where they were supposed to be. And then I used Photoshop to put the words in the place they're supposed to be. So if you know Photoshop, you can just work with the graphs immediately. But really, this is based to be a printout. You see these, you write them down in, you write them in your handwriting, you put it in, and you got the thing organized. And it's not going to take you that long. It's longer to explain it than to just do it. By the time you get the transits, you're putting them on the sheet. You get 15, 20, you get used to it, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. You should be able to get this done, at most. So that's from calculating it, getting the printout, taking the printout, and working the sheet. So we have the positions of the planets day by day, month by month. We just got to get which ones are when they hit within that degree that we're looking for. Okay. Now, okay. So You can see this in each of the other ones. If we go down on Saturn's, then you see it goes from the last of the Saturn conjunct Saturns when it leaves, 707.47. Then you're going to see it jump 7 years, 6 years here. It's at 12, 6.5, 12, 23, 53 is the Saturn square Saturn. It's entering. It's exact on January 5th. It leaves January 23rd. So you're seeing the exact aspect. You see the one before and after. It tells you, so from December to January 54, 53, 54, December 53, January 54. I have it on my sheet. Okay, and then you go to the next one. You have the exact one, 402.54, April 2nd, 54. It's exact. So it goes from 314 from March 14th and leaves. It's exact on April 2nd. Leaves on April 16th. So from March 14th to April 16th. So you're going to put March, April. So do March, April 54. That's close enough. Anything happening in that time, it's on that aspect. It's within enough, it's close enough. You're within a degree and a little bit. It's close enough. It's all you need. You don't need to round down, write down days, or when you're writing down too much, again, too much information. So we're seeing the too much information and we're just taking out of it to make it simple. Okay, and the graph makes it even simpler when it comes to interpreting it in terms of nature. So the third one would come in September 1954. It's entering. September 29th, 54. It's exact. October 8th, 54, it's leaving. So we're going to see from September to October 54. Again, on the right, we'll see September, October 54 on the square. So once we get past the third one, it's going to go, if you're looking in the ephemeris, you'll see there's no more aspects. You're jumping 7 years ahead. Here it takes the jump for you. But I put the line in so we don't forget that this is a jump. It's easy to get lost in all this data, like looking in the phone book. So this is just make it easy to read so you don't make mistakes. But most of the mistakes come from reading and writing things down wrong. Even with a computer, typing in something wrong, it's still be, oh boy. So you always double check what you're entering. Okay, so we're going to jump then to the opposition. You see, I have March 62, July, August 62, November, December 62. So 3 times within the same year. So okay, we'll go along. Saturn opposition there started March 3rd. March 13th was exact. March 24th was leaving. So I didn't have them colored here, but you still can read them fairly easily once we know what's going on here. So I know it's all of March. I would just put the March 62. Okay, I have to keep moving this because my column is down that side of the page. Okay, now, so after that, then you get to the next one, July. It goes July 21st to August 3rd, August 17th. So July, August of 62. You see that's on this next one. July, August 62. I wrote it down beside the opposition in order that they happen. And then the third one is November 28th, 62 to December 10th to December 21st. So it's November, December. I wrote November, December 62. Of course, then once I've got these down, I just do them all first, and then I go back and work my history. And as I'm working my history, I'm using my spreadsheet to see what happened and what else I can add to it, what more I can see. And I write that sometimes you have 3 or 4 things in your history, and you look at, oh, this is the main one, this is the big one, and you put those things in. Okay, so okay, I'm going to go over all this till you're bored with my story, but you're going to be doing your story. And the whole idea is to just get yours done and know that you've done it right and it's organized well. And once you got it organized well, you never have to do this. You have it for your whole life. You always come back to the graph after this. Okay, so then it goes along. Then it just jumps to the Saturn, square Saturn. But then there's some other things that happen here I want to show you. I think it's on the next sheet. Where are we here? Oh yeah, so on the printout, so if you're working the printout and you wanted to work it, I just went through it. They had the dates. I just read the dates from before and after to these ones.